introduce our last presenter, Dr. Maryam Almahdi. The session title is Artificial Intelligence in Digital Marketing, Current Applications and Future Directions. Dr. Maryam is an academic, researcher, and trainer in the field of digital marketing. She has a passion for everything digital. She has lectured and consulted in digital marketing in Bahrain, the UK, and Ireland. She also recently delivered a talk to students from the UK, France, and Saudi Arabia titled Introducing the Next Digital Entrepreneur, You. That's a very motivating title. Dr. Maryam has provided digital marketing strategy consultation to businesses, including Ahlia University, Cartoon Planet, IBM Sina Specialist Center for Children, and UK-based AI ticket booking startup Tikito. Welcome, Dr. Maryam. Pleasure to have you with us, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much. I'll just share my presentation.
Please.
Okay, so thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Dr. Maryam. I'm an academic and researcher in marketing. So a little warning before I start. What I'm going to talk about today is AI from the point of view of a marketing practitioner. So nothing too technical from my side. I'm a business marketing person, but AI applications in our field are very interesting and very promising. So I'm going to look at it from this side. Let's look at the agenda before we start. First of all, I'm going to start with answering the question, what is AI in marketing? We are going to look at where AI is in digital marketing today. Then I'm going to discuss a few applications of AI in digital marketing, like content creation, search, and chatbots. Then I'm going to discuss the benefits and challenges of using AI in digital marketing. And finally, I'm going to touch on future directions of AI in digital marketing. So let's start with basics. So if you are a technical layperson like me, and you hear talk about artificial intelligence, what usually comes to mind is the many sci-fi movies that delve into the futuristic depictions of AI. So these machines, they think, they go into adventures, they have feelings, they even sometimes commit crime. But in reality, currently, AI is a little bit simpler than that. So it's essentially all about building intelligent machines that will think and respond like a human. So how is this achieved? What does it have to do with marketing? So I took the liberty to make a little animation to explain this. So AI in marketing is all about the systems, using systems that are going to learn from the data. So marketing data that you are going to achieve through data collection, analysis, social listening, audience observation, and even economic trends observation. So these machines are made to identify patterns in these data. And based on these patterns, insights are going to be obtained. And based on these insights, decisions can be made with little human intervention. And here comes the part that I'm most interested in as a marketer. These decisions are going to impact marketing efforts, whether it's anticipating customer moves, improving the customer journey, or whatever it is. So this last part is the thing that I am going to focus about in this presentation. But before I do, let's talk about the state of AI in marketing today. So AI is constantly working on the background of many popular products and services like Netflix, Amazon, of course, Google. However, interestingly, more and more small to medium enterprises are getting more access to AI tools. So as you see from this figure here, it is predicted that AI spending is going to reach about $52 billion next year. About 1/5 of this goes to retailing, which is very, very interesting. So how do we apply AI in marketing? This is a very interesting graph from Smart Insights. It shows you the different stage of the marketing funnel and how AI can be used and employed in these different stages. So as a marketer, the marketing funnel is how you react to your customers in different stages of their customer's journey. So first of all, you want to reach out to them when they are still not your customers. So you want to really attract them with amazing content and with persuasive advertising. You can use AI to make your content more attractive and your advertising more, let's say, accurately targeted. You want to act on your customers to push them to do their first purchase. And you can do this with retargeting, which is powered by AI. You want to convert them to become your repeat customers. And you want to attract indecisive customers. And you can do this as well with several applications like dynamic pricing and like chatbots. Both of them have AI applications in them. And finally, you want to engage your customers for them to become loyal to you. And you can do that with automation, whether it's marketing automation or personalized emails or whatever it is. So there are so many applications of AI in marketing, all of them very interesting, but because of the time constraints, I had to pick 5 of them. So we're going to talk about how AI is used in content creation, in smart search, in personalization and recommendations, and then in chatbots. Okay, so content creation. It is the very first thing that can attract your customer to you. Let's go back to basics. Content creation, when it comes to digital marketing, is all about producing material that you will present to your customer online. So whether it's for entertainment or for education or for persuasion, whether they are viral videos or whether they are reports or blog posts or social media posts, you want your content to be really attractive, really onto the point. You want it to really, obtain the attention of your customers because there's so many contents out there. And usually, how content is being done is usually done manually. So you get your content creators to think up about the best, let's say, slogans, the best content. And there is an element of trial and error in this. So it could work, but also it might not. And here where AI comes into action. So apparently AI systems right now, they can write some simple things like business reports, hotel descriptions, stock insights, and even game recaps. And obviously, because content creation is very time consuming, and especially if you want to create a lot of content, if you want to create content at scale, very time consuming, and also it's a little bit pricey. That's why when you use AI in this, you're going to obtain more speed, more efficiency, and you can create a lot of content at a very short time, or creating content at scale. You might ask, who uses or what companies currently use AI in content creation? Surprisingly, the Washington Post and Forbes, both journalistic entities, they do use AI applications, either fully or partially, to create content for their respective websites. A very interesting example is Chase, an American bank. So the marketers at Chase, they were thinking up a tagline for an upcoming marketing campaign. And what they came up with? Access cash from the equity in your own home. But they used an artificial intelligence writing tool called Persado. They came up with a more sophisticated sentence, which is, you can unlock cash from the equity in your home. And surprisingly, the second sentence, which was created by the artificial intelligence, worked better with the test audience. So how can artificial intelligence technology just go ahead and write some content for us? How does it work? So I'm sorry about this wall of text. I've got this from the Persado website. So Persado, as I said earlier, it's an AI content writing tool. So they explain in their website that their AI-powered machine understands language and breaks down marketing creative into critical elements, and then uses your company's goals and your company's marketing message and brand voice to write a message to your customers. So the next question here, how does an AI tool know your brand marketing voice? How does it know how to work? It's all about the data and the data training that you give to an AI tool. So here's another example from Grammarly. So Grammarly is an AI writing assistant. So you upload whatever you wrote and it gives you suggestions to make your writing better or to make shows your grammatical mistakes, and etc. So for this tool, they say what makes them successful is the high quality training data that they gave their system. So they inserted a huge collection of sentences, human researchers, and they helped the the tool, understand and apply it into correcting future writings. So it's all about the data that you input into your system that is going to affect how it will work in the future and how accurate it will be in content creation. Moving on to the second application that I want to talk about, which is smart search. Now, search is a very important part of digital marketing. As digital consumers, we are empowered, we are in control. We want to search everything, we want to know everything. We search Google for whatever comes into our mind. We search social media for long lost friends. We search Netflix for just the right film that we want to watch. And Google understands that. So Google uses their algorithm, which is called RankBrain, a very top secret algorithm, because essentially their competitive advantage. They use it to factor in search intent when it comes to search results. So in the past, whenever you search anything, specific outcomes are going to come no matter who you are. But nowadays, Google factors in your intent or the why behind your search query. Are you in for I want to know moments, or I want to go moments, I want to do moments, or I want to buy? What are you in? Why are you searching? A very simple example of this is that if you Google, for example, a restaurant or a coffee shop on your mobile phone, the results are going to show are based on proximity in the map to the restaurants that you're looking for. So it predicts that because you are searching on your phone, you are on the go, you want to go somewhere. So it's going to show you the nearest restaurants. But if you search the same thing on your laptop, different results are going to come up. For example, reservation websites and booking websites, because they assume because you are on your laptop, you have more time, you are not on the go. Another very interesting example is Netflix. Netflix is doing very well when it comes to artificial intelligence applications in marketing. So whenever you search in the search box in Netflix, even if you enter one letter, suggestions are going to come to you as search results based on your history with Netflix, based on your preferences, based on what you watched in the past. So if you search something and someone else searches something else, you are not going to get the same results. So along these lines, since we are talking about the Netflix is doing very well using artificial intelligence and personalization. So if you're browsing Netflix, again, you're not going to get the same experience as someone else with another background or preferences. For example, let's say you are really into romance movies, just like me. Then when you get a suggestion for a Good Will Hunting, you're going to get the movie cover with the two romantic leads. But if you are into comedy, you are going to get another cover for the same movie using the late Robin Williams, who was a comedy legend. So they are going to use different covers of the same movie to entice you to watch their movie. Along the same lines, recommendations are a very important part of personalization. Amazon is doing a great job in this, and it has been doing it for years. So what Amazon does is that they use the AI to understand all of the information they have about you, whether it's every purchase that you ever made with them, your product browsing history, the addresses you lived in, TV shows that you watched in Prime, apps that you downloaded, even devices that you are using. And the longer you have been with them, the more sophisticated purchase suggestions and recommendations that you are going to get. So for example, I've been with Amazon since 2006, 2005. They have 15 years worth of information about me, my likes, my dislikes, my behaviors, everything about me. So, and they are going to use this in recommendations. So the last application that I want to talk about is chatbots. So what are chatbots? Sometimes when you are on social media or on websites, or even talking to Siri or Alexa, you know that a robot is talking to you. So the most interesting thing about chatbots is that they are very good in giving the customers a personalized experience, but without any human intervention. How do they do that? They factor in past questions that they were asked, history and other things, and so they can give you just the right answer. It is very useful for companies either with not enough employees or not enough time to answer all questions on a timely manner. Other than just answering questions, chatbots can do upselling activities, so they deal with abandoned carts on applications and websites. They help with lead generation, personalization. They even carry on predictive analysis, which overall leads to increased retention rates of the customers, which is what marketers really want. So how do chatbots work? Again, I'm not a technical person, I'm a marketer. So just simply what happens is that the customer puts in a question or input, the chatbot analyzes the request, identifies the intent, and then composes a reply. Of course, it's not as simple as that. There are some AI technologies that come into play, like natural language processing, machine learning, among other things, that will make this work. And with chatbots, I will have finished the 5 applications that I wanted to discuss. And if we are talking about the benefits of AI in digital marketing, of course, through the applications, I'm sure we inferred a lot of them. But to go across them really quickly, first of all, one of the main benefits of AI is going to be efficiency, time, and cost saving. Let's take content creation, for example. So if you do it yourself or you have your employees do it, it's going to take a lot of time. You are going to pay them because, of course, they're real people. And it takes a pretty long creative process. And also there comes testing after it, and you want to make sure if it's the right content or not. But when you do it with AI, it saves you time, it reduces the cost, and it's more efficient. Same goes to, for example, analyzing all of the data that you have as a marketer. Now, marketers today, well, data is power, that's true. But we are drowning in huge amounts of data from millions and millions of touch points. How can we just manually go through all of them and analyze all of them and understand the measurements and insights? Manually, this is very, very difficult. And of course, using AI systems is going to make the marketer's lives much easier. Of course, all of this data and AI's ability to analyze it quickly and accurately is going to improve customer personalization and improve customer service, just as we saw in the recommendations and in the chatbot example. And finally, because making decisions are quicker, easier, you can do it in real time. As you get your data, you are going to get more return on investment for your different marketing. However, although we are all singing the praises of artificial intelligence, however amazing it is, it's not magic. So something got to give. So you have to really do it right so you can get the right outcome. We always say that in research, garbage in, garbage out. The same goes with artificial intelligence, I guess. So data training is very, very important. It is very important to feed your artificial intelligence systems accurate data, complete data, timely data, so the decisions that will come out of it are going to be optimized for your company and for your purpose. Another challenge that we have to really pay attention to is privacy concerns. So because artificial intelligence really relies on getting as many data from your customers, as much data from your customers, many personal data points, being ethical about it is very important. And if you are not, some really real life consequences can happen. For example, we all remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where this company, they bought huge amounts of data from Facebook, user data, and they used it to create fake news and to sway the public opinion in very life-changing incidents, like, for example, the American elections, 2016, and even UK's Brexit. It has been suggested that using fake news on Facebook, based on the users' data acquired by Cambridge Analytica, swayed these public opinions. Another important concern when it comes to challenges in AI marketing is how you can demonstrate the value of AI in top management. Well, using AI will need a considerable investment. So how can you convince your top management, your shareholders, that this is right for them? This might not be as straightforward as we would like. Finally, what I want to talk about are a few future directions when it comes to artificial intelligence and marketing. First and foremost, AI is growing and growing and growing. And if you are, as a marketer, if you don't get on the AI train, you might get left behind. So Gartner has predicted that by 2022, AI is going to replace about 33% of data analysis in marketing. So it is a very useful tool, and we should consider, starting, or at least consider planning it as a part of our marketing functions. So some future directions or some future developments that are going to come in the way of marketing, artificial intelligence in marketing, is building the business to robot to consumer business model. So there are predictions that more virtual assistants are going to take the place of our direct contact with the marketers or the brands. So they are going to be, let's say, gatekeepers between customers and brands. So we have an example of an IA chef used by the IA Foundation, who is going to be familiar with what is in your kitchen, your pantry, what's going in your mind for dinner, and it's even going to suggest to you what you have to do. So this is a very interesting area of research as well. A very interesting area of research is comparing how customers react to robots versus how they react to human agents when they are trying to suggest and predict. Which one would work better? Is it going to be the same this year as in, let's say, in 5 years' time? Are people going to be more used to virtual agents in the future? This remains to be seen. AI is predicted to really revolutionize shopping. So we have the convenience of online shopping, but also actual shopping has its own merits. So how are the two going to be mixed together? There has been tries. For example, Alibaba's venture, Fashion AI, they tried to really mix AI tools to the actual shopping experience. So you will have your mirror screen as your friend who's shopping with you. It's gonna display color and size options, suggest outfits, direct you and the items in the store. So both a friend, let's say, and a shop assistant or a shopper assistant. So it's very interesting to see how this goes, if people accept it. And finally, although we already have some development in visual and voice search, more development is expected to happen here. People are going to rely more on pictures for search and also on voice search. So the AI systems have to understand how people speak, different accents, different speech modes, and etc. And finally, in conclusion, I will take a quotation from Field, an AI solutions firm. It says that AI isn't here to replace jobs of marketers. It is here to unleash their true strategic and creative potential. So they have to adapt for it, or they will be left behind. And with this, I thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Maryam. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. When I go back to home every day late from work, I'm thinking what to cook or what to order. I think the AI chef will be my solution maybe to this problem. I'd like to ask participants to type their questions in the Q&A box, and maybe I can start with one question myself. You mentioned content creation by AI. So someone who's working in content creation, should they worry that they be replaced, or should they be happy that they will have more tools in their hands to be more productive and more effective?
You know, from my own opinion, whenever a new technology comes, people start worrying about being replaced, which is normal. It's happened all through our past, as human beings. But, yes, of course, AI is going to replace jobs, but we can never discount the human creative part. And instead of being, replaced, people are going to be more professional, more educated. They are going to use these tools. So, and of course, you could never, for example, replace the real creative writing process, maybe in the future, but, it replaces jobs and it creates jobs as well, in my opinion.
Exactly. And you also mentioned the Cambridge Analytica story. And what are your, let's say, extended thoughts on this matter? Do you feel that we are protecting data enough? Are we protecting data enough, or is data still exposed to, let's say, misuse?
Okay, so there is more than one way to look at it. First of all, unfortunately, or actually, it's both something good and bad. Technology is developing way faster than how legalizations can develop, okay? And then these technology companies like Facebook, they are huge companies. They're making a lot of money. They have a lot of connections. Of course, they are going to be at power. They can squash anyone who talks against them with, lawsuits and stuff. And they even tried to question them in the Congress. If you remember, they tried to question Mark Zuckerberg, and a great meme came out of it. But, nothing actually happened because, where there's money, there's power. They have to be more responsible. And they know that we are, as consumers, we're addicted to them. So we are freely giving them our data. So this is, let's say, it's a paradigm, not a paradigm, paradox. It's a paradox, On the one hand, we should be responsible for our data. On the other hand, there are huge companies. Of course, they are going to look for the money. And it's still ongoing, I think. There is no clear answer for this.
And it's a new area for everyone, right? For regulators, for people, everyday people like us, that sometimes we complain about misusing our data, but maybe we do the same with other people's data at the same time. So it's a new area for exploration. Yeah.
So it's very interesting. There is a very interesting documentary on Netflix, which I forgot its name, but the person behind the documentary wanted to use the law in the UK, because the law in the UK says you can ask for all of your information from any company that's collecting information. And it was documenting how he was trying to get his information from Facebook, but of course, surprise, surprise, he couldn't get it at the end of the day. There are more powerful than him.
True, it's challenging matter and very complicated. We don't have any more questions, so I would like to thank you, Dr. Maryam, for your presentation, and thank all the presenters and all the participants for joining us together. We have heard about the power of facial recognition. We have discovered the fundamentals of AI in banking. We heard about odor sensing, the use of AI in odor sensors, and we also discovered how AI can be used in digital marketing. And I think apart from the comprehensive informative presentations, this was an opportunity for networking, and I think this is what is great about this conference, is not just to convey knowledge, but to bring people together to explore a further collaboration. Thank you everyone for joining our session today. I hope you have enjoyed it. And the day continues. We have the training workshops. If you haven't registered yet, you can do that now through our website, or if you email a forum at BIBF.com. There are a number of workshops starting in a minute, so don't waste your time. The first workshop is AWS Data Feature Engineering in Machine Learning. The second workshop is a look on reinforcement learning for games by my friend Amin Altazar. And also another very interesting workshop, How to Become a Google Developer Expert by Mohamed Boualai. And my colleague Siniraj will present a workshop in Understanding Deep Learning Algorithm. So you have a lot of options. I hope you will find something interesting to attend. So please go ahead and attend the workshop. Thank you very much for joining today. Thank you all.